if you take a 24 pack to something like Memorial Day of an adult beverage, let's say, and there are some left over, do you take the remaining number of your beverages back home with you? Your quote unquote leftovers, even though they're unopened, still floating in there. Do you take those home with you at the end of the party? Or is that a really unclassy thing to do?
To be honest with you, I've done both things. I've never gone like into a cooler and cherry picked my stuff back out, but I have like brought something and it kind of like stayed out on the counter or whatever, still in the box. People were just feeding themselves from the box. And then I grabbed the box on my way out. I have done that. I don't know if I'm supposed to or not. I would say more often than not, I leave it there. That doesn't answer the question of what I think is right, though.
Which would be?
I don't know, man. I want to say that etiquette should be to just leave it there for the host to do whatever they want, because they went through all of the hassle of putting the party on, right? And unless they're charging a cover, then I mean that's no big deal. I mean that is a big deal to throw a party and invite people over, and you got to clean up before and after and all that good stuff. So I think it's worth just leaving it with them. But I can also understand the other side of that. Of like, I brought 24, I drank 4, I'm gonna go home with 20.
Well, let me augment the question slightly, because I think I misrepresented it in its original form, and see if this changes your answer. Okay. Sorry about the background noise. If you bring a 24 pack to a party and others simply bring a 4 pack and you see them drinking yours, then what do you do? And isn't then this the kind of maybe a follow-up question? Isn't the 24 pack or bottle of wine, if you take a bottle, isn't that really just a gift to the host? Like you mentioned, like, hey, thanks for hosting. Whatever's left is yours. But if people are bringing fewer drinks and then you see them drinking yours, the ones you brought,
as in like they're not drinking theirs,
they're not drinking theirs, they're drinking yours, and they brought significantly fewer.
Dylan, take a stab.
Man, I'd love to get invited to a party someday. I'm just kidding. I disagree. I don't think that you're taking. There's a clear difference between taking something to the host, which you would arrive, take directly to the host and say, "This is for you. Thank you for hosting," versus bringing food that's communal with the purpose of like, "Hey, just bring a bunch of snack. Hey, we're gonna have the hamburgers and hot dogs. Everyone else bring your favorite drink and snacks." That implies everything you bring is for the greater good of the attendees. If you show up with a bottle of wine or with something for the host, you walk up to the host and say, "This is for you. Thanks for hosting." So my thought is, I think the right thing to do is either leave it, especially if you're not like the last person out and it's just you and the host, leave it for anyone who's left at the party. At most, only leave with what you came with if there's any left. I don't think you should ever be walking out with extra stuff or stuff that you didn't walk in with, is my opinion. Now it's a little different if like, and I don't mean like, oh, I'm going to grab one extra can of soda for the road, like to have on the way home. I mean, like you brought a 12 pack, there's 8 of yours left, and you're just jamming a bunch of drinks back into the box. I purposefully, when I go to things, try to do everything that I can to take things that I don't have to take home with me. So we just went to 2 events, Saturday and Sunday, and we took cakes. We made cakes and took them to both events. And we purposely took them in throwaway aluminum pans with clear lids so that we took our pie cutter, but just grab the pie cutter, take that home and leave the cakes at the party. and leave whatever meat or drinks or whatever. So I don't ever want to take anything home. To me, that's my contribution to the party. And at the end of the night, if the hosts want it, they make out with whatever's left because they hosted.
Mm-hmm.
I have seen people bring, say, a 12 pack of something, drink 6 of them, and then for the remaining 6 they would have had, make themselves a little variety pack of whatever's left over in the cooler to take home. Like when you can go to some grocery stores and just get a cardboard 6-pack and get yourself like 6 different like IPAs or different microbrews. I've seen people do that.
No,
that is absolutely not kosher.
That feels wrong.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always context, right? Like there's some people like contributing a variety of different drinks to a thing, and they'll be like, hey, everybody, I brought this many different snacks or this many different chips because I wanted you all to try a bunch of stuff.
Like donuts.
Like donuts, yes. Like if I brought 30 donuts to 4 different people and like, I know there's a bunch, I want you to just be able to try a bunch. That's a little bit different, but I don't know. You can't, this isn't just a mix and match at, Whole Foods. Like pick whatever canned sodas you want, throw them into this thing, get as many variety cookies as you want in a bag for $4.99 a pound.
Yeah. Well, I think more specifically, the thing that is bothersome of that is like they profited vis-a-vis drinks, right? So they drank, they brought 12, they drank 4, they left with 12.
Right.
So
Plus,
that's obviously, unless you're invited to, like, I mean, sometimes hosts will say, I'm not going to drink everything that's here. Take some with you, whatever you want. Sure. That's fine. But obviously, and there's scenarios. I don't think there is a scenario where you net beverages when you leave. But like, even if you were like meeting up at a park, if you're meeting up at a park, everybody's meeting at a park, then yes, you take back whatever it is you brought.
Good example.
And you didn't consume. But even in that scenario, you don't leave with a net plus on drinks. That is no, absolutely not. Never.
Yeah, that doesn't, the exceptions to that are like anytime you're nearing the end of the party, like you said, and a host, especially somebody, they ordered 15 pizzas, there's 4 whole uneaten pizzas left, and somebody's like, please, we're not going to eat 4 whole pizzas. Please take one home. Also, there's a bunch of extra drinks. We don't drink these kind of drinks. Then you're talking about end of night situations where it might be more cleanup for the host if they have to find something to do with all these. But you're talking about like end of the night, you're one of the last few people there. I don't like this net, like coming out in the net positive on drinks because, I did a mix and match with my 12 pack. I don't care for that.
Yeah. Kendall said it's definitely wrong to do, to gain more beverages. I get down to the granular level of like, it's not just quantity, it's quality. So even if you had 6 left from your 12 pack and you brought Milwaukee's Best, but you took home Stella's or like Dead Guy Ale or like something that's a little more rare, the 1-for-1 ratio isn't even equal now. So you take something that's like 3 times the value of what you brought to the party. That doesn't feel fair. That's fun. I love picking that stuff apart.